Waking up at 3 a.m., more common than you think. Have you ever experienced this? 3 a.m. The room is so quiet you can hear your own heartbeat. You open your eyes and stare at the ceiling. There's no noise, no dreams, yet sleep just won't return. And then the questions begin to whisper in your mind. Is something wrong with me? Is my brain starting to weaken? Is this what aging really feels like? If you found yourself waking at this hour, night after night, you are not alone. In fact, this is an unexpectedly common phenomenon among people over 60. And here's the good news. It's not a sign that something is broken inside you. On the contrary, it may be a gentle message from within, a signal that it's time to listen more closely to your body, to understand it better, and to treat yourself with greater kindness. In this video, we'll explore the 5 most common reasons why older adults often wake up around 3 a.m. and what these wake-up calls are truly trying to tell you. From hormonal changes and circadian rhythm disruptions to subtle emotional shifts, each reason is part of the natural aging journey, not to frighten you, but to help you become more aware, more at peace, and more confident as you walk side by side with your changing body through each stage of life. Stay with us until the end of the video, because the final insight we share might completely change the way you see sleep, aging, and even yourself. Reason number 1, when your body stops producing the lotus of sleep. Do you remember the younger years when sleeping through the night felt as natural and effortless as breathing? We drift off within minutes and wake up 7 to 8 hours later feeling light, fully recharged. But then age comes and sleep is no longer as whole as it used to be. One of the key reasons, though often misunderstood, is this: the natural decline of a hormone called melatonin. Melatonin, you might call it the lotus of sleep, is the chemical that regulates your body's internal clock. It gently tells you it's time to rest and helps you stay in a deep, uninterrupted slumber. In our younger years, the body produces plenty of melatonin each night, giving us long, restorative sleep cycles. But by the time we reach our 60s or 70s, melatonin levels begin to fall, like a lamp that slowly dims over time. Around 2 or 3 a.m., when melatonin hits its lowest point, you wake up, not from noise, not from a bad dream, simply because there's no longer enough of that soft inner light to keep you asleep. You open your eyes feeling strangely alert, not anxious, not tired, but you just can't go back to sleep. Like Mr. Harold, age 72, who once slept soundly every night, shared with us. I thought I had insomnia, but when I learned it was just my melatonin levels dropping, I felt oddly relieved. Harold made a few small changes, kept his bedroom completely dark, blocking out light from lamps or windows, avoided screens like phones or TV for an hour before bed, took gentle evening walks to support his natural sleep rhythms. The result? He still wakes up at 3 a.m. sometimes, but there's no more worry, no more tossing and turning. Instead, he feels calm because he understands it's not his fault. It's just the body changing, and he can walk alongside those changes with kindness. The takeaway: if you often wake at 3 a.m., try resetting your sleep environment. Turn off the lights, reduce noise, put away the phone before bedtime, and most importantly, don't blame your body. Listen to it. Reason number 2, when your biological clock quietly shifts your sleep schedule. Have you ever noticed you're getting sleepy earlier than before? You're ready for bed by 8 p.m., and by 4 a.m., your eyes pop open. You wonder, am I aging too fast? The truth is, there's nothing wrong. Your body is simply entering a new rhythm, a stage known as the advanced sleep phase. Back in your 30s or 40s, you might have gone to bed at 11 p.m. and woken up at 7 a.m., feeling just right. But once you reach your mid-60s or 70s, your internal body clock begins to shift forward. This means you start feeling sleepy much earlier. You may enter deep sleep around 9 p.m., and by around 3 a.m., your body thinks, that's enough rest, time to wake up. Take the story of Mr. Charles, age 68. It's a clear example. After retiring, he began eating dinner at 5:30 p.m., watching the news for half an hour, and going to bed before 9 p.m. At first, it felt peaceful, but then after a while, he found himself waking up at 3 a.m. Not tired, not anxious, just wide awake and puzzled. Maybe I have a sleep disorder, he thought, but the truth was simpler. He was just falling asleep earlier, so he was waking up earlier. Once Charles understood this shift, he made a few gentle adjustments. Read books under soft, warm lighting after dinner, took slow evening walks to delay his internal clock, called his daughter every night to extend social interaction, and slowly, those 3 a.m. awakenings became less frequent. The takeaway: if you wake up at 3 a.m. but don't feel tired, chances are you've already had enough sleep. It's just that it came a bit early. This isn't a bad thing, but if it's bothering you, try this. Have dinner later in the evening. Increase evening social activities. Avoid dozing off during the 7 p.m. TV time, because sometimes to sleep better, you simply need to sleep a little later. Reason number 3, the small habits, quietly shifting your body clock. Have you ever noticed how, after retirement, life seems to become almost too quiet? No more rushing to get the grandkids to school. No more preparing for tomorrow's meeting. No more stressful appointments at the office. Instead, there's dinner at 5 p.m., the gentle hum of the evening news on TV, and somehow, by 9 p.m., you're already sleepy. Then when the clock strikes 3 a.m., your eyes open wide and your mind feels surprisingly alert, as if it's already ready to start a brand new day. What's happening? It's not your fault. It's the natural shift in your circadian rhythm, and your daily habits are quietly guiding that inner clock. Think of Mr. Walter, 74 years old, recently retired. At first, retirement felt like freedom. Early dinners, some quiet TV time, a few drowsy nods in the armchair, and off to bed by 8:45 p.m. But after a few weeks, he began waking up at 3 a.m., fully awake, unable to fall back asleep. He feared something was wrong with his sleep, but in truth, his body was simply responding to a new rhythm created by his own routine. Once Walter recognized this, he made a few simple changes. Took a gentle walk at 5 p.m., read under warm lighting in the evenings, avoided dozing off after dinner, and slowly things began to shift. He started falling asleep a little later and waking up closer to sunrise. That strange 3 a.m. wakefulness began to fade. The lesson here is this: our bodies crave consistency, but when familiar signals, like early meals, limited activity, or dim lighting, change, our internal clock quietly adjusts, and we end up waking earlier, often without knowing why. So if you've been waking at 3 a.m. for no apparent reason, take a quiet look at your daily routine. Even the smallest adjustments might help you restore a gentler, deeper sleep rhythm, one night at a time. Reason number 4, when it's not your body that wakes you, but the emotions left unspoken. Sometimes you wake up at 3 a.m., not because of a noise, not because of pain, not because you need the bathroom. Everything around you is still, eerily quiet, and yet something inside stirs. As we grow older, emotions we once tucked away during the busy years begin to resurface. With no more work deadlines, no crowded schedules, our minds are finally given space to slow down. And in those quietest hours, they begin to whisper. It might be a lingering grief, an unspoken regret, a question you've never quite answered. These thoughts don't scream, but they're strong enough to wake a weathered heart. Think of Gloria, 80 years old, living alone since her husband passed. During the day, she tends her garden, calls her grandchildren, watches her favorite shows. But each night, around 3 a.m., she finds herself awake, not afraid, not in pain, just quietly stirred by memories. Afternoons spent beside her husband, words she wished she'd spoken sooner. And instead of resisting that moment, she chose to listen. She kept a small notebook by her bedside, a place to write down short reflections, feelings, memories, things she knew she couldn't change. Sometimes it was just a few lines. But here's the beautiful thing. After writing, she could fall back asleep, feeling lighter. Because the truth is this: the heart doesn't keep time by the clock. It remembers on its own rhythm. And sometimes 3 a.m. is the hour it calls out, not to disturb you, but to be understood. So if you find yourself waking in the night with thoughts swirling, don't be quick to blame yourself. Instead, try asking, is there something within me that needs to be heard? And gently, lovingly, you might guide yourself back to sleep, not just into rest, but into a deeper peace within. Waking up at 3 a.m., not a fault, but a gentle message from within. When the clock strikes 3 a.m., many people immediately think, something must be wrong. But after walking through 5 deep and meaningful reasons, from hormonal changes, circadian rhythm shifts, lingering physical discomfort, to subtle disruptions in habit and even unspoken emotional weight, we can begin to see things differently. Waking up early does not mean your body is broken or that you're getting too old. On the contrary, it may be your body and your soul trying to communicate with you, gently, quietly, but with honesty. And once you understand that message, you won't feel lost or worried when you wake at 3 a.m. anymore. Instead, you'll listen to yourself with more compassion, you'll adjust your habits more intentionally, and you'll know, this is simply a natural part of the journey of living longer and living deeper. Remember this, you are not alone. Millions of others are experiencing the same thing. And like you, they're learning to adapt, to understand, and to live in harmony with their new rhythm. Before we close this video, I invite you to take a few seconds and reflect. What did you recognize in yourself through these reasons? And more importantly, how will you care for your sleep differently starting tonight? If you're ready, leave a comment below and share one insight you gained or simply your own personal experience. I truly value every story and message you leave behind. If this video brought you clarity and peace, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you won't miss the next videos made just for you. Those who are embracing every day after 60 with heart and presence. Thank you for listening, and may your nights be deeper and your mornings begin with more ease and peace than ever before.